Hi everyone, today we'll show you how to use the BYB Chrono app. If you need to connect to the Chrono device, you can simply click on this button. If you need to open the user manual and resources, you can simply click here to access this page, which is quite helpful, and you can also choose to contact us via email. Then if you want to open the runs, you can click on this other button, which is basically the section that contains all the folders. Here we've already tidied up all the folders, and from the top right chart, you can choose to create a new folder, pick files, select a run to move it into another folder, manage settings, or download the sample runs. We have already downloaded the sample runs, so we can simply go here and open the sample run folder. Inside, we have several runs. For example, a closed lap without triggers, a run with multiple triggers, one with a single trigger, and an open lap without triggers. Let's start with the open lap without triggers. It's a downhill run characterized by a start and a finish, the typical layout of a downhill track. So there's no loop, just an open lap. In this case, we have the summary page and the map. The summary page contains several pieces of information about your run. If you configured the chrono incorrectly, like selecting open lap instead of closed lap or vice versa, you can simply open this menu and change it. Regarding your run, you'll find data such as GPS speed, average speed, and so on. But the most important feature is the GPS map. For example, in the GPS map, you can choose to plot several things. First of all, you can make the camera reactive to your screen movement and zoom. Then you can choose a map characteristic. For example, showing GPS speed. This way, you can visualize the speed gradient across the whole run. It's also possible to enable labels so you can see the exact speed. The cursor is moving pretty fast now. If you want to change the sensitivity of the cursor, you can adjust the zoom, which lets you be more granular with its motion. Now we're back to the initial setup. You can also select different map characteristics, like acceleration and braking, for example. In this case, the run was quite long, so you can clearly see where you braked and where the bike accelerated. It's actually pretty nice. Now let's remove those settings and leave just the basic view enabled. Next, we move on to another very important feature of Chrono, the lap feature. At first, you'll see it's not showing anything because we don't have any waypoint or external trigger set. So you can scroll down and, for example, decide to set a start line here and a finish line here. Then you can place a split, let's say, here. Sorry, I mistakenly added a split earlier, so let's clear that and set it correctly here. Now, we've divided the track into two sections. If you scroll up, you'll see a table where you can export the whole run by clicking on this button. This saves just the lap as a new file. You'll see the time of section 1 and the time of section 2. The default time display is cumulative, like in a race. So if you want to see just the time for each section, click on the section time button to view the time for every part of the run. You can also view the chart. The selection automatically updates according to your start and finish line, but you can always enlarge it. Here, you can view charts from the gyroscope, accelerometer, speed, and so on. It's also possible to use the comparison feature, though we'll show that using another run. Let's look at closed laps. These are essentially loops. In this case, if you want to select a lap, you just need a single line for the start/finish. Then, as always, you can add splits, for example, one here and another here. Scrolling up again, we can now see the time for that single lap. Clicking here shows you all the times collected in each section, the first section, the second section, and so on. It's pretty nice. Now, let's move on to another run. In this example, you'll see how to use and automatically parse a single trigger. A trigger has been placed at this point of the track, exactly in the middle of a corner. With that, the Chrono app automatically detects the trigger and its position, allowing us to compute all the lap times. So going up, not here, but in the lap menu, you'll see the trigger lap data, based on the detected trigger. But if you prefer, you can still draw a manual start/finish line to view times that way. In this case, going up again, you'll now see two tables, one for trigger laps, showing accuracy and position, and one for user laps. The times are very close in this case because the GPS reception was strong due to the open field. Let's now look at the multi-trigger feature, which is quite nice. Here, we define 3 external triggers. This is a closed lap using all 3 triggers. After saving the setting, you'll see all the info. Going to the lap menu, we can see that we did 3 laps with their corresponding times. Clicking this arrow reveals the split times. The star icon indicates the best split across the run. You can switch between section time and incremental time. You can also analyze the ideal lap, which is the best possible lap time based on the best segments from all laps. It's the theoretically fastest lap you could do. With multiple triggers, you can also choose to define your own start and finish lines. After doing that, you'll see lap differentiation and different trajectories. You can scroll through the chart and evaluate things like entry speed and exit speed. You'll see both the trigger lap times and the user lap times, though user lap times may not show splits if you haven't added them. Now let's explore the compare feature. You can select the same run, and the app automatically extracts the laps. You can choose to analyze them using triggers or GPS waypoints. We recommend using triggers for better accuracy. Let's compare lap 1 and lap 2. They have similar times. After confirming, you'll see various controls: trigger and split view, or full run view. The full run view is useful if the run is already trimmed correctly. We're using trigger and split mode here. You can choose incremental time or section time. In this case, you'll see lap 1 and lap 2, and the differences between them. You can scroll the menu to see all splits and times. You can also show charts, like the delta time chart, which is one of the most interesting. It shows where time was gained or lost throughout the run. Now let's look at another interesting feature: bike park mode. If you're riding in a bike park and don't want to manually start and stop chrono, you can now simply select a full bike park run. Here, we're opening such a run. Let's clear the trigger to better see what's happening. You'll notice the straight line going uphill. That's the lift. And then, the downhill ride. You can see that we did different tracks. We can set a start line here and a finish line here. The finish line must intersect both runs, otherwise it won't work. Now that we've selected 2 different runs, one here and one here, we can scroll up to view the 2 downhills. One lasted 9 minutes 22 seconds, the other 9 minutes 26. You can click here to export either run for comparison later. Now let's move to the final feature, race mode. Race mode is great for analyzing laps from multiple riders. You can activate it using this button. You can select up to 10 runs. Here, we're picking 5. Click Done, and the app will perform a similarity check. In this case, one run is only 75% similar because the rider took a different loop. You can then select a section of track common to all riders. For example, here we have the bigger loop, and we can choose a common area. Set a start line here, then a finish line. Place a couple of splits. For instance, one in the first turns, one in the middle section, and another in the downhill. Always make sure splits cross all runs correctly. If not, click Clear and draw the split again. Now we've defined the track of interest. Click Done, and you'll see it plotted, with all riders shown. You can sort the table by position or time, enable rider names, and view the timing for each split. You can see who was faster in each section. First, you can display data as incremental or section time. John was very slow in Sector 1, average in Sector 2, slow again in Sector 3, but very fast in Sector 4. You can analyze everything in detail. There's also an overall split time comparison, based on the first winning run, shown in yellow. That's John's run, the baseline of the chart. Then we have Luca, Alex, Ryan, and Teo. You can export the results as a CSV file for further analysis. Thank you very much for watching this small tutorial, and see you in the next one. Thank you.